Your business is in sync with LiveSync. This webinar is powered by LiveSync Accounting and Xero Accounting Software. Introducing Attorney Dexter Destajo.
How is Xero integration works? Really, first is you have to select the right Xero add-on. So what is your requirement? Do you want an inventory? Do you want a point of sale? Do you want an HR, job management? So you have to select the right Xero add-on. To select the right Xero add-on, you just have to go to Xero App Marketplace, where you can select the different types of softwares that can integrate with Xero. So let's say I have a store and I need the point of sale. I don't know if I have a point of sale here. Point of sale here, okay? And then for our demo, we wanted to use Vent as our example. So Sapad is a local software which you can integrate with Xero. And there's also Possessed. I don't know if Possessed is here. So in UAE, there are 3 types of point of sale that we are helping our clients integrate, especially the restaurant. We have Vend, we have Sapad, and then we have a Possessed. It's not here, but Possessed can actually integrate. Okay, I don't know where it's been. Now, for our purpose, what we will do is I have done, let's do a demo. Okay, I sign into my Vend. I created a trial account. Okay, so this is the software I wanted to integrate with Xero, Vend. So Vend is a retail software where you can manage sales, add products, add customers, and then you can connect this with your e-commerce as well, and then you can manage your stock on hand. So it's both point of sale in the retail store, plus also an inventory management as well. Okay, we have few clients in UAE that is using Vend, and this is more recommended for retail where you are doing trading. No, so if you're selling shoes, if you're selling t-shirts, use Vend. It's a good software for POS at the same time inventory management. So for this purpose, we're going to show you an example on how to set up a add-on in our example, which is Vend to Xero. So I'll go to setup here. So normally, if the software can integrate to Xero, there's already an add-on in the setup of that software. So in the case of Vend, we go to add-on, and then these are all the softwares that can connect with Vend. So Xero, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, Shopify can integrate Deputy, Timely, QuickBooks Online, obviously, and all other things like MailChimp and MYOB. So since we are integrating Vend to Xero, normally you initiate the integration from the add-on software side, not from Xero. Okay, but before you do that, you have to make sure that you are already logged in with your existing Xero organization. Okay, so that it is easier to detect. So what I would do is, I'm logged in already to my LiveSync marketing, and then I would connect this to Vend. Click connect. I would enable, and then the next step would actually be mapping. So what's the next step here? So connecting add-on, this is what I'm doing now. I'm connecting the add-on, and then the next step would be mapping. What is mapping? Mapping the chart of accounts in Xero to the Vend. So now I select, I'm connecting now the organization. I'm using LiveSync marketing. Okay, I would click allow access. So now I'm doing the connection. So it takes some time. Now I'm ready. The next step is to actually set up now the accounts. So if I'm doing sales tax, what do I use? I would use the VAT tax here, which is, I will have to go and set up my sales tax first. Okay, cancel. Okay, anyway, I will not go through that because it would take some time. So now I'm setting up, I select my tax here. My tax would be, I don't have sales tax, right? And then this is sales type. And then what is my percentage? Okay, and then I select the sales account in Xero. So all this is coming from the chart of account of Xero. And then I would do what is the inventory account I would use. I don't have an inventory account showing here in my system. So I'll create an inventory just for our purpose. So inventory from when. So I'll do A, create. So now I'm connecting a chart of accounts to Xero, right? So it will go, and then the cost of goods sold here, that is in Xero, 310. And then at the same time, I select the default payment. So the default payment, let's say it's the bank. You can have multiple payments in this system. The refund would be, I would use the refund as advances to, yes, I'll create again another chart of account. And then also here, discounts, I would have to use sales as discount. The till discrepancy, I would use, create another till discrepancy account. So here we're doing mapping. So rounding. Okay, rounding again. 564, and rounding. So we are setting up the chart of account if it's not existing, and then I select PT cash. Do I have PT cash here? No, not yet. Okay, these are till cash flow. Let's see if I can select. I cannot also select this. So this would mean I would have to save and create this from Xero, chart of accounts. So I have to say general expense if I'm using. General expenses. I would also use, I don't have a cash in account. Then I'll select that as current asset. Enable that payment. Then what's the other one I need to create? I need to cash flow as well. So they need to create a cash flow. That is 285A. And current asset as well. Cash flow. Yep, same, fine. So then what I would do is I would update sync again to Xero so that the new chart of account will be added. Okay, now it's sync again, and now and then I can choose now to start all over again. This is sales account. And then you can say it will be approved. And then I have inventory, then cost of goods sold, default payment account, I would say RAC. Refund would be refund. And discount would be sales. Till discrepancy would be sorry, general. I would do general expenses. And then rounding as well. Rounding, and then liability account would be, I would say I can use advances here. Again, it depends on what type of account you would want to connect. General expenses, PT cash account, I have general expenses again here, and then cash in, and then cash flow. Okay, now I save this and then done. So that is how you map with, so now integrations is set up already, it's done. Now you can, whatever is then creating like an invoice, it automatically create an invoice in Xero. So mapping, connect first, and then you do the chart of account mapping. But you have to make sure you set up the right chart of accounts first in Xero so that By the time you're mapping, you're going to just automatically connect specific transaction points on your add-on. So if it says, if it will hit sales, then it will record sales in Xero. If it's recording petty cash expenses, it records general expense in Xero. Then maybe you don't want that, you can edit that in Xero. That you can do. Now, limitations in add-ons is technically where whatever, again, Xero has its own limitation and add-on would have a limitation. So there are like POS, for example, that does not do inventory, does not do purchases, but it does only sales. So again, you have to double check what type of add-on that would fit for your business, no? Because it could be, there are some add-ons that cannot really be applicable for you, or some add-ons that can portion of it can apply, but some, you know, still not functioning as an integration. So the application here is that you avoid double entry. So instead of creating invoice manually in Xero, if you're using Vend, you can, every time you create a receipt from their customer, it prints the receipt, automatically Xero generates also the invoice in Xero, no? So that's the application of the integration. So integration can be of many things. You just select the right apps. So you have a CRM, conversion, document, and financial services. All this you can play around. You just select Xero, search this with Xero App Marketplace.